Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, please abiding by AFTERBIRTH Plus. I'm gonna do a daily. We got achievements at the end of our last daily, but I still think we got one more to. We got many more to do. We got one more to do to get 5 in a row, I think. Again, I have no idea how this daily is. I'm not really picking and choosing at random. It's just any day in which I'm recording at least 2 Isaac episodes until we get the dedication achievement or the marathon achievement, whichever one it is. One of those is going to be a daily. So prepare for a random smattering of dailies. It's like a soup du jour. Sometimes the run du jour. I wish Northernlion would not speak French in his videos. That's not offensive? It might be. I don't decide whether or not it's offensive. But I have a French-Canadian last name. Every time someone at an airport refers to me as Monsieur le Tonneau and says bonjour, I get 1 credit to be offensive. I didn't make the rules. That's just the way it goes. Okay, we have a golden chest, which I'm not particularly interested in. What's the soup du jour? It's the soup of the day. That sounds delicious. I'll have that. Dumb and Dumber. 1994. You're really not gonna hit that tinted rock, huh? Still. I think we will take our spirit heart. I'm disappointed I took damage on this floor, but it is what it is. What the heck? Second hand? AKA the second hand on a clock. Extended stat timer time. Ace of Diamonds, I would really like to make work. Like, I would like to get an arcade out of Ace of Diamonds, but I don't think there's any conceivable way for us to make this happen. We could turn 2 red hearts into coins and hope that those coins end up being, at least one of them would have to be a nickel, but wow, there's just a terrible dodge. I've been playing Slay the Spire a ton lately, and it turns out, you know, this happens. It happened when I was playing a ton of Gungeon, which I guess I never really played a ton of Gungeon, but I got like 100 and something hours in that. You start to have a roguelike alternative syndrome. You know, you played too much of one roguelite, not enough of the other, and you start to forget what to do. I actually have to dodge. It's not my hands that are the problem, it's my brain that's the problem, but I think we already diagnosed that ages ago. Let's try. Wow, it actually worked. Ruka, I didn't go to the item room. I spent all that time talking about how stupid I am. I didn't even go to the freaking item room, dude. It's a free one, too. Alright, well, I'm an idiot. And we get Mom's Bra, and then we get Gemini. We're not gonna get too many more rerolls, but... well, it has been known to happen. I have been known to make that mistake in the past. Hopefully it ends up not being a big deal. You never know, could have been trash. I'm gonna choose to believe that it's trash, because it makes me feel better about me being stupid. And it really was just, it's a stupid oversight to not pick up our item room there. I think I just thought that I had gone to it, because my normal methodology is like, hey, there's an item room, you should go to it. We're gonna backtrack here. Here, a penny, I think, up there? Yeah. We're gonna backtrack to start with. I do kind of want to shoot these. Remember, we want to make sure that we have every available chance to get the boss rush, and we're a little bit slower than I'd like to be right now, but certainly not slow enough to not make it to boss rush. If we can get a key, we can now make our shop worthwhile, but we can't make our curse room pop yet. Yeah, well, if we'd taken Squeezy from that first item room, then you're not wrong. You're not wrong. We might be able to bomb our way into that, to that curse room and save us a little trouble. We got 2 bombs. So here's what we're gonna do. Remember, we came 19th on our last daily. I'm hoping to kind of stick close to that on this one if possible. That ended up being a good chest that unfortunately did not provide us with what we were looking for. We're 1 room away from getting a charge. So we will have a charge for our deal with the devil, which is probably the most effective place to have it on. Oh my god, we're 1 key away from getting the skeleton key. Please. Purple heart. With a purple heart, you cry mo. What about a bombs or key? You think that's... it is an option? Not a secret room. So now even a bombs key is not very good. Is there another consumable maybe up here? There's not. Hopefully we get something from the boss that allows us to... Well, we need to keep one bomb, and then if we get one key from the boss, we can get skeleton key, which is worth 99 keys, which is worth a lot of points, and also opens an outrageous number of doors for us. But I gotta admit, I don't think the odds are great right now. Justice will do it. We could get a card that would do it, or a pill, technically, that would do it via anything that drops a card or a pill. We could just get it in our deal with the devil. Sometimes there are consumables in there. There's probably some other options, like latchkey, polydactyly. I don't think... Oh, we're obviously taking Mom's knife. And I think here's what we do. We leave... I should probably not have re-rolled that. But we're gonna... Sadly, I mean, Mom's knife is amazing. I'm stoked about that. We'll take Gemini. I didn't want to use a reroll. You should have used the reroll on Gemini instead of using it on Polydactyly, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But stumbling over the words because my brain is doing its own thing today. Second secret room is our last chance, and it gave us Plan C. Well, missing out on Forget Me Now is bad on a daily. Missing out on... Skeleton key is worse. That's 99 keys, and we're really gonna struggle to get an alternative for that, probably. Plus, it did, I mean, just from like a run standpoint, it also kind of made it so we couldn't go to the shop. You know, where the item room and the shop are in question on this floor, so we're in tight. It's weird to leave a floor and be disappointed by the fact that we got Mom's knife. We also re-rolled Polydactyly and a Little Steven. Just like, honestly, some very, very boneheaded decisions. We're still ahead of the curve. Well, we're probably on the curve. Anyone who didn't get Boss Rush today, or sorry, anyone who didn't get the deal with the devil on the second floor today is going to be in a worse position. But is that how we strive to evaluate ourselves? We're not in the worst position? No. I don't believe that's how I... would like to evaluate my Isaac play after putting, you know, 2,400 hours into it. I'd like to be a little bit above average without tooting my own horn. Okay, the Halo's very good. We need the speed upgrade more than anything else here. What we can't do is go back in time. What we can do is improve this run right here. So, you know, there's a lesson to be learned. Pay better attention to what you're doing. We don't have any bombs yet. It's a great shop. All we can do now is try to make the run as good as possible, and that's what we're gonna try. So in here, we do have a per throw. I found pills is irrelevant. World card's fine. I think we'll just save everything for now. We got plenty of time to go to every room. We probably want to get a key, or sorry, a bomb and blow up that tinted rock. You never know what we can get. And we got a lot of potential goodness right here as well. Honestly, I don't really want to deal with the devil. We got all the damage we need for now. Give me a... I kind of want HP. I definitely do not want shot speed, but like, it's, oh, I didn't mean to buy fanny pack. I re-rolled the HP because we can afford to not have it, because I'm pretty sure we're going to start rolling on, Spirit Hearts sooner rather than later. Probably should have used the bomb to get the bomb in there first. Could have gotten something out of the rocks, like a black market or something. It's, you know, if anything, it's just a lesson that we should probably endeavor to do a warm-up game before we start a daily. It doesn't mean this daily is going to turn out badly. Remember, if you're going to Shoal... here we go. If you're going to Shoal, you want to try to get to Delirium, and the way that you do that is by going through the Hush floors. So, I might not have 99 keys, but most people are probably not going to make the effort to go fight the Hush and Delirium. So there's a chance that just by outworking people, after being an idiot, I can end up ahead of some of them. You know, it's a metaphor for my actual life. Spending a lot of time on a task to make up for a lack of natural intelligence. Oh, don't get down on yourself. You just played right into my hand. Complimenting me. I actually think I have an average brain. It just appears to be worse sometimes because I'm constantly talking and recording every single mistake I've ever made in my entire life. In an environment, especially where those mistakes are codified, essentially with, you know, a numerical value for how stupid it was in the first place. We're ready. I think we don't even care about a spirit heart here. We're still on pace, having a good run. So what do we want to do? Up our damage, up our HP, get some good defensive options, and then put ourselves in a position where we can fight Delirium and get to, or fight Hush and get to the Delirium fight. That's how we have a chance to work our way back up. But, you know, I'm not going to be happy unless I get to 99 keys. The D6 actually gives us a chance to get there indirectly by allowing us to, perhaps, I mean, I'm loving the battery charges. Our luck stat is already great, which I think is part of the reason our, we're getting such high-tier consumable drops, but sure, I will take Rusted Key. We could still get to Blank Card. Like, Blank Card to a Spades. I'll take us to 99 keys. Of course, it won't make up for the shop that we missed, and we missed the shop because we didn't have a key. We missed the item room because I walked past it. That's a lot of... It's a lot of handicaps placed on yourself to have to work back from, but we can make it happen. Okay, I do love Black Rune. So if we play our cards right, it gives us a good chance at a really nice statistical bonus. And I love this as well. It's a good time for this to happen. Good deal with the devil. We probably want both of these, I think. And Fanny Pack, turns out, might actually be half decent here. You didn't pay out yet. I think I'm going to go a little more in depth here than I probably should. Holy card? Yeah, it's Holy Mantle, right? But okay, it doesn't actually apply. I thought maybe it would. This was worth it. Contract from Below is good. Ceremonial Robes is good. Dark Bomb is great. And then we'll still take this to give us the Tears upgrade. The shot speed is irrelevant. Yeah, we're becoming quite the powerhouse. If only we had Polyphemus from that first item room. That's the recurring joke of this video. The first item room that we skipped is always going to be whatever we needed it to be. Caffeine pill and 2 spirit hearts. You know what? I think that is worth taking. Range up. Caffeine pill is probably not anybody's favorite item in the game, but a speed upgrade, very useful. Especially if we're using Mom's Knife to get, you know, in and out, deal as much damage as possible, and then escape before our effective range puts us at a little bit of a disadvantage, which it innately sort of will, because of the fact that Mom's Knife is usually a little bit lower range to begin with, but I don't know, for now it's going fine. I'll let you go get those, but it's not urgent right now. I think a reroll machine is probably a little bit more valuable. A reroll machine on every floor, I should say, is a little bit more valuable than Rusted Key, but I'm a fan of both of them. I am upset with myself, but hey, we got a spirit heart out of it, so maybe I'll be laughing in the end. We want to make sure we're out of here by 1330, because, again, for us to rank well on... Oh, my lord. For us to rank well on today's daily, sadly, we got to put in a little bit more effort. It's like, you ever see the movie Kingpin? Another Farrelly Brothers classic, like Dumb and Dumber? In that movie, one of the recurring jokes is that, you know, one of the... If you haven't seen the movie... It's a washed-up ex-professional bowler. I'll just take it. He sees there's a tournament in Reno for bowling, but he's got a hand that has been mauled in a mafia-related incident, and he can't bowl, so he wants to train someone to bowl, and then they'll split the $1 million. The Amish kid that he trains is actually like 40, is Randy Quaid. God bless him. And, he says that his average is like 230 or something like that, which is an incredible score. And then it turns out it's 230 because the Amish work 50% harder than normal people. So he's always bowling 15... I was going to say innings. 15 frames instead of 10. How silly, what a hilarious misunderstanding. And then it's a good time. I'm gonna take Linger Bean, but I probably should have rerolled it. I'm happy we got to all the rooms at the very least. We have to make Boss Rush. If we don't make Boss Rush, our chances of ranking just goes out the window. And I ain't talking about Canada's first family of gospel country music. It's a joke for you Rankin family fans out there. Not the Franken family. We're leaving them alone, and they've asked for privacy, and I don't even know where I'm going with this joke. Not Frankenstein. Frankenstein's monster. Well, I'm surprisingly, every floor that goes on, I feel like I'm a little bit closer to actually not being supremely punished for the fact that I didn't take Skeleton Key. Of course, I would have loved it. And with Forget Me Now, we could have done some freaking silly stuff, dude. Like we could have maybe Forget Me Now out of a successful boss rush and done another Depths 2, which would have given us the chance for a second boss rush. We wouldn't have had to do it at that point. We would have had to be real quick to make it happen, but it's plausible. That being said, I think we got a good chance to get to a reasonable number of essentially every consumable. Thanks to Contract from Below, which I think a lot of people will probably not get because it did require being a little overly aggressive on the deal with the... I'm stupid. A little overly aggressive on the deal with the devil. We'll probably stick with Blood of the Martyr. I think it's good. I'm waiting to use Black Rune for a room like... I mean, ideally it would be a library. Boss Rush would also work. Basically a room in which we get more than one payout from it. Everything's going fine here. We shouldn't have hit all those switches on the last room. I don't know. I'm hardwired in this game now. When I see switches, I press them. We don't need to do that. We can afford to press them one at a time. No deal. Pretty bad item. You know what? Let's take it. I think that's probably okay. And it makes me happy that I took caffeine pill earlier. Not in real life. Not that I guess that's anything to be ashamed of. It's weird, like, I drink usually like 2 cups of coffee a day. Rarely 3, but also rarely 1. But for some reason, whenever somebody's like, yeah, just take like 1 caffeine pill in the morning instead, I look at them like they're a hard drug user, which has essentially like no basis in reality whatsoever. Okay, we don't even want that. It's the same thing. Mine just comes, like, filtered into a beverage. You might say, why would you, well, we could try it. I think I'm just gonna use it to keep Black Rune. Why would you, I don't even know if it does anything for us, but I'll take it anyway, because it's usually good, even if we do have Contrary from Below, it might be worth something. Why would you, choose to take a pill to get caffeine, if you could just drink something that you like the taste of? Well, I'm kind of with you, but I think the argument would become, maybe I don't like the taste of coffee, and then beyond that, faster acting. It's easier to just pop a pill in the morning than it is to make a cup of coffee, I suppose. I'm not saying that, to some extent, it does seem more hardcore, yet at the same time, I don't really think that it is. I'm defending the people using the caffeine pills. Because I think us coffee drinkers have a tendency, when we drink coffee, it's like, I like the taste of coffee. It's the caffeine is just a nice side effect. Well, yeah, that's true until it isn't. Try going a couple of days without a cup of coffee, see how your head feels, and then I'll be the judge of whether or not you're being honest in your discussion there. We'll take Dead Cat. We'll peep this as well real quick. We don't really have time to backtrack, so... Okay, it's starting to turn out here. I think it doubles. Now we double the chests and we also double whatever pops out of them. So it was probably worth taking from a consumable standpoint. Humbling bundle, that is. I don't know, our score actually seems higher than it would normally be at this point. Mostly because our items have enabled us to create a synergy that's fairly point rich, but hopefully we're starting to reap the benefits of our approach here. So yeah, that's my opinion on the subject, at least. If you take caffeine pills, by all means. I just want to let you know, though, if you're the kind of person you're going to ThinkGeek, a website I have purchased many things from in the past. If you go to ThinkGeek and you're buying caffeinated soap, please leave a testimonial in the comments, because I don't buy it. Like, literally, I do not buy it, but that's not what I meant. I don't believe that the bioavailability of caffeine through, like, epidermal... I'm putting on a fancy voice, but, I mean, you know, this degree was, like, $40,000, basically. Not that I paid for it. Anyway, let's start with a reroll, I guess. Pick it up. It's true. We gotta be faster, just in case. If it's even close to good, we're gonna take it. That's not good. Right now. Not good. Not good. I think. Not good. Don't miss boss rush for this trash. Okay, scapular, if we have to make it work, we can make it work. I know there's good stuff here, but we gotta go. We gotta beat mom in time. I don't buy that you can get even close to the same effect as like a single cup of coffee as you can out of soaping yourself up with caffeine soap. But just say I don't believe it. It's like when, you know, you'd have friends when you were, at least I had friends like this when I was like 14. They'd be like, bro, I ate 2 of those whiskey chocolates at Christmas dinner and I was so lit. We didn't say lit back then, but you get the idea. I'm gonna try, and I do not regret this. No, you're not. You're not. You'd have to consume about 1,000 of them to feel anything at all. Okay, so we're taking advantage of this now. I don't believe it. That being said, if you've used it and you felt an effect, let me know. I also, people, I don't know why, everyone, and I guess I'm kind of like this as well. I'm being the proto this at this point, but people have a tendency, not everybody, but people have a tendency to want to feel like they have superpowers. So I mean, my wife has said this to me as well, and I tell her the same thing. I tell her, I love you, but I don't buy it. I don't believe it. They say things like, you know, caffeine has no effect on me. Like, I could drink like 10 cups of coffee and not feel it. I don't buy it. I do not buy it. Other people say, they don't get hangovers. I've somebody alert the New England Journal of Medicine. The number of times I've heard someone be like, yeah, I just don't get hangovers. I'm like, that's not how it happens. What do you don't get dehydrated? What has happened is that you've never had a hangover, and that's great. It means that your habits are, you know, well within, I would say, an above average range from a health standpoint. But trust me when I say that unless you've got some kind of, you know, unless something's wrong with you, you are going to get a hangover if you drink enough to get a hangover. Now, you might have to drink a little more to get a hangover. I'm not a doctor in the end. I'm just giving you my anecdotal experience. But anytime anybody says to me, they don't get hangovers, I go, oh, so you're like, can we have you? Like, can I submit you to a lab for like a finder's fee? Because I want to put this to the test. I believe that, you know, for 99% of biological functions, we're essentially hardwired the same. Maybe you drink water before you go to bed. Maybe you take a B vitamin complex. I don't know. In all likelihood, you're probably just drinking less, and that's great. But don't try to feed me this superhero trash. Now, admittedly, for some pharmaceuticals, I'm sure it's like, this drug works for me, this drug doesn't work for me. I'm supposed to take Lipitor, the Lipitor, it didn't actually work for me, the side effects were really bad. You know, that stuff I believe. But not getting a hangover, it's like saying I don't get thirsty. Oh, hunger? I don't get that. I just eat every 6 hours and I don't get hungry. I don't understand what the problem is. I just, you know, I'm just saying it ties into a recurring theme of mine, and you'll notice this is the same thing with food poisoning. It's not that I believe food poisoning doesn't exist. People have taken me very much out of context. What I believe is that things are often misdiagnosed as food poisoning when it's oftentimes attributable to something else. And even if you want to claim that you're like, oh, I had diarrhea once yesterday, must have been food poisoning, that's fine. Just as long as you don't try to attribute it to one specific thing that you ate. Because you don't know. You're going to slander these local businesses. I don't think we want it. Yeah, I'd actually prefer that. You're going to slander these local businesses. It was definitely the burrito I had from Sally Limon. It was... I just knew when I bit into the meat that it wasn't right. But it was probably... You probably took a dump, didn't wash your hands, and then scratched your eyeball. You liar. You think you're perfect? You think you're clean? Look at the germ overlay. Anyway, I'm going too far. I'm making enemies now. So what I'm really trying to say is, I don't believe caffeinated soap works. That's where what it all comes down to. Now, we are one item away from becoming Guppy. So this cursed room, it's got a little temptation associated with it. We know we're in a good spot because boss rush, it was over in like 10 seconds. It felt like we were not in trouble at all. We're just going to go with synth oil. I'll take some damage and I'll accept it. Per throw. Is it worth it? In the end, probably not. I know it happens every time. And I want to point out that, you know, I'm here, I got a soapbox, okay? So I'm coming over the top. You're probably saying, man, NL's, why doesn't he believe people when they tell him things? Well, first off, were you born yesterday? And then secondly, I don't buy the science behind it. If you don't get a hangover, film yourself. I want to watch you consume, let's say, 12 beers over the course of 3 hours. Fall asleep. Let me know how you feel the next morning. If you can wake up and go for a 30-minute jog and then honestly look me in the face and say you feel normal, so be it. They should have you at the Mayo Clinic and research your genes, because those genes should be propagated. You should go to the... I don't want to say the word because Google DeepMind might flag this video. You should go to the bank of male virility and deposit some stuff if you happen to be of the male proclivity. Because that gene... Our future generations need that. Put that out there. That's worth something. Is it worth as much as, I don't know, increased metabolism? Probably not. But I'd rather have it than not have it. But you gotta prove it first. I want to see it in action. By the way, I'm not going to watch you drink. I'm not encouraging you, is the other thing. Because this is, I want to make it clear. Know your limit. Stay within it. I just don't buy. Something doesn't add up, I guess is where I'm coming at this from. I rescind my earlier offer suggesting that you drink far too much and then send me the video. I think that this could be misconstrued as inciting a detriment to public health, and I don't want to be that sort of guy. I don't want to cost the taxpayer money. Or you money, depending on where you live, I guess. I guess we'll take Ball of Tar, and we're going to get the heck out of here. We still got a Hush fight lying ahead of us. I think we're going to rank in like the 300 to 500 area today. I know there was a battery charge, but again, we kind of got to speed it up a little, I think. Yeah, I think we're going to rank just fine today. Still not at 99 keys, can't deny that. But the run is, I mean, it's come together. We're also, like, I mean, we're kind of throwing, we're throwing a very good chance at our achievement for winning 5 in a row, if it is indeed our 5th in a row, which I thought this is our 5th daily. We're throwing it away, or at least putting it into question, just to get more points for fighting Delirium. But you know what? That's what it's all about. Why are you doing the dailies if you're going to be a little baby about them? You know, we want to maximize our point total. Otherwise, we don't have to do a daily. We could do like literally any normal run. I mean, we still have a little lost stuff. We got a couple challenges to take care of. Well, to be fair, we still have to, I mean, do the dailies to get 30 or 31. Very bad damage. I think we could probably take both and get away with it. We're one shy. I did not mean to take GB Bug, unfortunately. 27,000. Well, no reason to take that either, but that's okay. I don't know. I guess I have an innate skepticism for anybody who believes in anything. No, I have an innate skepticism for anybody who believes that they're uniquely biologically special. I believe that, from a personality context, we're all special in our own way, and I mean that sincerely. I like myself. Sometimes I look at parts of myself and I go, I don't like that. I think I have a tendency to have a serious lack of patience. I'll open by admitting a fault. I have an extreme, like, I don't have an anger problem. I'm a pretty relaxed and laid back guy, especially in person. Everything's cranked up for the stream. But it's true that, like, if I go like, hey, can everybody get in the lobby here? And then they go, yeah. And then like 5 minutes later, there's still people that aren't in the lobby. I start to be like, how do you, we're on a ticking clock here. I want things done right, but I also want them done, with a certain sense of speed associated with them as well. A certain alacrity, if you will. However, I think it's a bad habit. Sometimes, in the moment, I'm like, this person is being stupid. And then when I think about it later, I'm like, I was being very petty. That's something I need to work on. I believe we're all unique in our own way. Biologically, though, it's the same Lego pieces. You got different genes, I'll admit, and I feel like I can already read a couple of comments that are going to be, oh, so he thinks we're all genetically the same? Lol, bio degree. Where'd you get your rhetoric degree? You're being fallacious here. You're using a false equivalence that I'm saying we're all, mostly made up of the same meat particles. That doesn't mean I think we're genetically equal. We synthesize proteins in different ways. Or rather, we have different blueprints for those proteins to be synthesized. Anyway, the point is, we're going to get through this as quickly as possible because I need to really make it down to the fight. I just wanted to make sure we were getting maximum points, but we'll head back right now. With 2 speed, we're going to make it, but it is going to be a little tight. Forget those. I kind of want that, though. It's same thing. There's probably people who they have natural proclivities to be less hungover than some people. Get less hungry. Get hungry less quickly. Be less affected by caffeine. There's definitely people who are just not at all affected by alcohol. I just think the percentage is probably overly represented. That room kind of stinks. This room, Daddy Longlegs, is like an obvious choice. PokeGo is okay. But let's see if we get battery charges that we might want to take advantage of. Doesn't seem like it. So, I think we'll re-roll these instead, and out of these we'll go with Depression, because I want to keep the D6, mostly because Telepathy is great. Particularly great for fighting the Hush, to be fair. I think I'll take it. Definitely want to roll Lemon Party. So take Wheel of Fortune. Now remember, we want to... Don't drop it! Ah, he dropped it already. He dropped it again as I was trying to... It doesn't matter, I guess, because we're going to beat this guy pretty easily, but just want to try to get the knife in there. Dude, Delirium gave me a little Incubuddy here. Not going to last too long, but while it lasts, I'm a happy man. Anyway. It's the same thing. I want to make the distinction. I know food poisoning exists. I just think, somebody overindulges, next day they feel nauseous. It must be the burrito I ate. Maybe it's because you ain't washing your dang hands when you leave the movie theater bathroom. That's right, I see you, Scotiabank Theater. Sit through a 2-hour-long movie, putting your hands into the popcorn bag, you go to the bathroom, you pee, you run water over your hands, you don't use soap. What are you doing? It takes negative time. And you got the audacity to blame it on the taquitos you ate. Well, if they were from 7-Eleven, I don't know, maybe, but... In the end, you're entitled to believe whatever you want to believe. And you're entitled... I'll even give you the tools necessary to negate my, my argument here. Oh, what does he know? He doesn't know my exact situation. It's not like he's a doctor. He's got a 4-year degree in biology, like 8% of the population. He's not some kind of genius. That's true. You can choose to disavow my sentiments. Those are all valid arguments. I don't even have... You'd think that I have like a trump card or something to play here, but I don't. In the end, it's because almost everything I've said is a joke with a little nugget of what I feel is truth associated with it. Not infallible philosophical ramblings. I'll always be the first to come over the top with some kind of ridiculous claim. But I'm also always the first to tell you, hey, figure it out for yourself, because I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's give them something to not know what they're talking about. It's just not very good at all. Alright, we got a great score. I still can't shake the Spectre. Wow, I really thought we could sneak through there. Still can't shake the Spectre of having not been able to get Skeleton Key. Or, you know, skipping our first item room, also pretty dumb. Lots of dumb stuff on this run that I'm not very pleased about. Dude, this is a good floor to have the D6 on. Originally, I thought I was compromising, but, you know, if you think about it for like 2 seconds, you're like, okay, actually, there's a very valid reason to have the D6 here. We're gonna get a lot of chances to reroll. Those are not great, though. Anyway. Good commentary. We didn't just narrate the run. It feels nice when that happens. It always happens essentially by accident. You know, you gotta find the right kind of tangents. It's like, it really is having a conversation with yourself. You know, if you're... We definitely want that. If you talk to people, here's a little... Not that I'm some kind of, you know, this is really like Dan Giesling's area of expertise, but if you're talking to someone and you want them to talk more when you finish talking, you kind of leave a little thread in the conversation. You know what? I don't want to fight you yet. Let's wait. We might get some form of invincibility that could save us some damage penalty. Okay, there you go. You know, so someone might... Let's have a little example here with just me and me. Someone might say, oh, hey, Ryan, and I go, hey, what's up? See, there you've asked them a question. They got a chance to respond. Oh, not too much. How about you? Oh, not too much. I'm just heading downtown to get, you know, my driver's license renewed. Oh, yeah. And then now they can talk about their experience or their feelings on that, or they could say, F off, I gotta go, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Well, see you later. You know, you want to throw... I'm not some kind of conversational mastermind, but the way that natural conversation tends to flow is, you know, somebody gives you a little thread. Whoa! Oh, this guy's on our side. Somebody gives you a little thread, you respond to their thread, and if you want the conversation to continue, you give them a little thread of their own to kind of go on. We want to keep Algis for now. And maybe forever. I'll take it for the points. Maybe we'll get a luck upgrade or something out of it. Points are going to be hard to come by down here, so... And we gotta, or rather, we should at least keep in mind that we're not always going to gain anything for picking an item up. Oftentimes we'll actually probably lose something for picking an item up, so we should only take stuff that helps us in one way or the other. Where was I going with that? Oh, that's, yeah, like, these videos, they're kind of like that. You don't think about it logically when you're doing it, but you are having a conversation with yourself. You know, you finish an anecdote about food poisoning, and then you, you know, you try to drop a little thread for there. You say, like, oh, well, speaking of thread, I had this is a true story, I had a sewing project when I was in 6th grade. It was the worst teacher I've ever had. He made about half of the kids in the class cry over the course of the school year, myself included. I'm not ashamed to admit it. It was among friends, you know. He just beat people down. He was like a drill instructor. Later fired from the school for reasons that I'm not going to disclose. But anyway, he was also kind of a great teacher in that he wanted to teach us practical hands-on skills. And you might laugh at that and say, sewing? Why wasn't he teaching you Haskell? Maybe that's just me. Sewing's practical. He taught us how to use a drill press, and that sounds like a euphemism, but I assure you it isn't. That's not what he was fired for. Taught us how to use a skill saw, and a jigsaw, and a miter box. Forced us to do things we didn't want to do, which also, again, I didn't mean it to come across like that, but, you know, in our class, in particular, I was like, well, could I just read a book instead? Nah, you gotta build a birdhouse. But I thought this was school. Anyway, I had to learn how to sew. This is a story that reflects badly on me. I procrastinated. We had to make a paper mache head for a puppet. sew a body for the puppet so we could put it on our hand and do a show with it, and then write a script and then perform it. So it was actually like a pretty, in hindsight, if it had been executed better, cool project for like a 11 or 12-year-old class to do. Forces them to unite a lot of skills, and actually at the end they create something that maybe they can, I'm not going to say be proud of, because even the best ones were trash. I mean, we were 11 or 12, right? No offense meant. But I procrastinated. And then when it came time to do the sewing, I left myself like 3 hours, couldn't figure it out, and I was just like, Mom, could you sew this for me? And I had her sew it for me. I'll admit. In a moment of weakness. I was the type of kid that I was, I did most, like the vast, vast majority of projects, papers, essays, speeches, etc., myself. That time, I will admit, I'm not much of a sewer. Or I've got sew, but I'm not a sewer. So anyway, Lisa Hearts. That's the end of the story there. People, you know, you're gonna think that maybe. First off, F you, straw man that I've invented in my own head. To cry in public as an 11 or 12-year-old, it was highly embarrassing. We all thought those years were behind us, but it's not that bad. It's not like you're crying over something extremely petty. And that teacher, like, to be honest, he just broke people down, man. Like, you'd think that you were good, and then you'd just start bawling because he had been a terrible person for like 8 months. You know? One time, I was sick. This is also a true story. I don't think I've ever told this one in any videos or anything like that. We had like a class president sort of system, but not for the whole school, just for our own class. And every month we elected a new class president, and they had to like do meetings. I don't even think we want Jesus juice. There was always a president, a treasurer, like somebody would make a poster, so it was like an artist. Blah blah blah. You get the idea. So me and this other dude were both elected. There were two like presidents at any given time. And we were supposed to have our meeting. I was sick, so I couldn't come to the meeting. Like, literally, I was not at school. The day I came back, he publicly held an impeachment in front of the whole class. And was just like, well, I know you were sick, but what do you think, class? Should we give him another chance, or, just pop this. Should we give him another chance, or, should we impeach them? And everybody voted for impeach because they were 11, and they were like, we don't know sensitivity necessarily. It would just be funny for this to happen. Anyway, so we got impeached, and me and my co-president both shed a tear, which I think is fair because it was extremely embarrassing as a 12-year-old. And like the dude was just an inconceivable piece of garbage. I'm sorry to say. Is this delirium? No, his mom's tower. Fantastic. I saw a guy who was now like he was tough. He was a tough kid at the time. Now he probably works as like a freaking welder or something like that. He's a blue collar, salt of the earth. Cried. You know why he cried? Proximate cause. Got the wrong slice of pizza. He used to do pizza orders, and he wanted a slice of pepperoni. They ran out of pepperoni, so they had to give him a slice of supreme or something. You know, basically like an all-dressed piece of pizza. He cried. But was he crying because of the pizza? No, he's crying because the teacher was a jerk the whole year. We didn't have any safety net. It felt like any kind of rocking of the boat could cause us all to drown. So that's, see, leave yourself a little conversational thread there. Now, I could spin that into another anecdote, but I think it would feel a little artificial. Even though I do have a story about almost drowning once, but I've told that before. Anyway, if you could not drop those yet, that would be ideal. We're gonna score well on today's daily. That's not Rob's story about having a teacher from heck was way worse. Teacher that like no matter what would just give him really, really bad marks on everything. I believe in 3rd grade there's no excuse for giving a kid like a 40% on something if they hand it in. They're like 8 years old. What do you want? Like professional standard of work from an 8-year-old? If you're out there and you're going, well, I think it's not that much to ask if it's a good school or something, check yourself. You don't know what an 8-year-old is like. An 8-year-old is so young. Like, they learn to read probably less than 5 years ago. That means, like, they are less experienced in reading than, like, 50 Shades of Grey is in existing. 50 Shades of Grey is twice as old as their ability to read. Well, I don't know. I think in 4th grade I could handle Anna Karenina. Sure. Yeah, it's wishful thinking. Go ask your parents how smart you were as an 8-year-old. You were probably an idiot. We all were. Look, there's no 8-year-olds going to Harvard. That's all I'm saying. There are 13-year-olds going to Harvard. I ain't ever seen a news story that was like, and don't even give me this Doogie Howser stuff. I ain't never seen a news story that was like, 8-year-old graduates with Doctor of Medicine from Harvard. It doesn't happen. I don't want an 8-year-old doctor. Go back, spend 4 years, get your MBA, and then you'll realize why, you know, as a 12-year-old dual degree doctor MBA holder, you will understand why no one wants an 8 or a 12-year-old doctor. Please. We took so much damage on the Delirium fight, but it's par for the course, really. Good run. Good run. Please, we're done with this charade. Can we move on? Thank you. I think we're gonna rank okay. 55 is way higher than we should be, considering we missed Skeleton Key. The Forget Me Now could have been worth more points, etc., etc. But hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Upset a great deal. Fat feline. Don't you dare insult my cat. If you did, click the like button. Upset a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. Oh, we do have Family Man now. And I'll see you next time.